Damn, y'all feel it?
Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah.
What's the word, y'all? It's KTR underscore podcast, hashtag KTR. We are KTR. We are back and we are in the building for episode 52 of KTR. Another Roast podcast, hashtag KTR. We are KTR. We are back and we are better. And I am here with my brother, Big Harv. Because our other brother, J-Bo himself, he is out on vacation with the family, celebrating life, celebrating excellence, celebrating achievement at Disney World. getting his pocket slaughtered out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. If you haven't been following J-Bo page for the past recent week, Mickey Mouse has been manhandling his wallet, and he shows it on a daily basis. And he'll tell you about how Disney World has been treating him. Now, granted, it's a fun and magical place. It ain't magical for that money. That's the only thing we gotta say. But Big Harv.
You make that money disappear.
Right. But my brother, Big Harv, how are you feeling today?
Not too bad, man. You know, happy day, happy Friday. It's not too bad outside. We live, you know. We gonna make it happen.
That's right. We live like Channel Fly, puts a 2 on the side because episode 52. And also, this is our first time doing a show together. It usually has been either me and J-Bo or you and J-Bo. Now it's me and you. And this can either go really great or really bad because we are the most controversial two of the group when it comes to petty arguments in the group chat and before and after we do a show. So let's hope this goes swell and smooth. But before we start this episode, y'all gonna do one simple favor for us, and that is to follow us on all social media platforms, KTR underscore podcast, Twitter, Instagram, The Roast Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, No The Roast Podcast, all podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Podbean World, everything. And don't forget to get your merch at prowrestlingtees.com/KTR podcast. All right. Take a sip of this yak. It's wine, actually. It's wine. But let's dive into the episode. First and foremost, we're going to just start with probably the biggest thing that's going on in the wrestling world, the wrestling community, with the World Wrestling Entertainment business itself, and that is with Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon himself. It's been a lot of rumbling, a lot of talking, and a lot of allegations going on with this man. And on the high side things, we're kind of not surprised by it, but at the same time, we're amazed that it's getting brought to the light. You know, apparently, you know, it's been he has a ruling against him. We got some cases on him, the allegations, you know, with some hush money going on in the background, the scenes, and we're just like, wow, somebody finally, or not finally, or decided to speak up and speak out about this whole situation. And now we're just wondering what all is going to come about from this situation with the chairman and CEO of the biggest wrestling promotion in the world. So, Big Harv, how did you feel when you first heard the news, when it hit headlines all over national world media, when you heard this news about Vince McMahon?
I honestly couldn't believe it, man. It's alleged. Everything's alleged until it's proven, but it's the type of thing that you know without it being confirmed. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the storylines, if you look at the people that have been brought in and just been cycled through, who he's been involved with, even what we talked about a few episodes ago, the plane ride from hell, things like that. It's kind of the culture, or has been the culture within certain groups within the wrestling community, especially in the business with the big boys. So it was more surprising to hear that it finally came up than anything else. It's not surprising that it's being brought to light. It's not, you know, it's not surprising that of the actions. You know what I mean? Those are things that you could see happening. It's just very surprising that somebody came forward and spoke about it, and it's causing those rifts, those ruffles in the water. It's crazy.
Right. And I heard of, like, long story short, I wasn't sure. Did they say Vince paid this person what $3 million total or $3 million yearly for hush money?
So my wife has been following the story way
Even
deep.
better.
All right. So she said that it wasn't the actual person who was giving the hush money that came forward. One of her friends, somebody that she told the story to.
Dang.
And allegedly she was a diva, back when they were still considered divas, and she was hired specifically for that purpose. And that she was, even after Vince was done with her, passed to John Laurinaitis, which is why he also had to step down very recently. But yeah, apparently she was being paid her salary, whatever her salary as a star was, regardless of what she did. She just had a guaranteed set salary, and then she was paid $3 million when they were done with her and fired her to keep her quiet about what happened while she was under contract.
That's wild.
Wow.
That's wild. Like, man. Oh man, there's some horny people that's behind the scenes over there. It's wild.
Yeah.
Doing all that for money. Like, and like, think about it, like, you just see like all the past storylines that Vince has involved himself with in like the recent, not recent, all of history of wrestling, since he wants to be on the forefront, like on TV and stuff like that. It doesn't catch you by surprise. It don't catch you by surprise at all that he did this. Like, we're just surprised that it just finally came to light, and like, and we just wonder like how the whole family feels about the situation. I'm like, especially with his wife, Linda McMahon, like, how she feel about the situation. There was a rumor going around that they might be going through a divorce currently right now. You never know. No, won't know about that until you say what?
They too rich to get divorced. What they do is they're separated, is what it is. They deal with. But even then, even when she was on screen and when she was more involved with the business, you could tell that they had their little stuff on the side. Like, it was just insinuated in every little piece of the family drama that Vince was always having something on the side. So I don't think that that's new, or that that's even the cause for the separation, if that's what's going on. But it is interesting that, that's now being brought to light. I honestly don't think she cares. I think that she's aware. She's aware. She's probably as surprised as we are that somebody finally said something.
Yeah, that is true. Because I mean, granted, and considering like everything that you see on screen is supposed to be and supposedly is acting, but you might feel a certain kind of way if you see your husband doing this on a consistent basis. Like, you couldn't just find another superstar just to do what you're doing on TV, like help them, put them over or something that nature or anything like that. So I could see how you think, like, she like, you know what? It's like an SMH moment, not surprised, but not everything just got sloppy, the business all out in the open. So yeah, I can see that. So with all this knowledge of the allegations going forward and the cases being in the court right now, where do you see the future of all this happening? Because now we've seen Vince McMahon on TV recently, and we had no idea what he was going to do or say. But the man he's a businessman at the end of the day. He was smart with what he's doing, because you see the headline: Vince McMahon is going to be on TV today. Vince McMahon is going to be on TV today, and we're thinking he's going to put out a statement maybe about what's going on. He's like, "Psych. Welcome to Raw. Welcome to SmackDown." Like, this dude is a character, but he is a genius at the same time, because them ratings, I bet you, that first beginning 5 minutes was just up there. But aside from that, from the present, we're more so talking about the future, because the whole thing with WWE is like then, now, forever, and together, the fourth war or whatever. What is the future? You say what?
That together part was hilarious to me when I was that was comedy.
Try to shade that in. Right. And together, I'm like, all right, yeah. You're on your own with this one, pal.
Yeah, they coming down. Boy, they catching these old men, man, and they giving them the business. They are not holding back.
Right.
And they, what I'm saying? I mean, it's just desserts is all it is. But as far as the future of the WWE goes, it is as big a toss-up now as it's been for the past couple of years, really. Tony Khan, I'm sure, is in a flux. Stephanie, who just exited the company, is now acting interim boss. Like she walked out and came back in on top. And she's going to be there until the proceedings are completely done. So it's so much up in the air about that. We talked about Triple H, who's back. You know, there's so much up in the air about that. It's a lot going on. There's a lot going on to really predict the future. I think that it's enough of a shakeup for people to care and actually watch and pay attention for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
So it saves them in that regard. But it's a big toss-up. They also just lost a writer. Another one of their writers just left. So it's a shakeup within the company right now. It really depends on how they follow up. They really gotta grab the reins and haul everything in and figure something out. They gotta right the ship.
Yeah. So do you think this will be the end of Vince McMahon's run within the company? Because I'm just looking at the whole thing. I'm trying to figure out how he could possibly, like, I don't know if it's possible if he could beat this case or not, especially how everything is going in the world right now. It's possible that he might not. But at the end of the day, money is the rule of all evil. So that could be a possibility with having that advantage over this case or whatnot. But while co-host J-Bo's out there at Disney World right now, he might as well go put some stocks on Disney real quick because they might be a new owners of WWE soon. You never know.
Yeah,
right.
Absolute possibility.
Now, everything going, it is crazy with this business because it's just unimaginable just how everything is just moving and proceeding. But the thing about it, it unfortunately, because I'm not for people like losing their jobs or anything like that. But he's well off. He can retire. He need to. But like I said, this may be the change that it is needed within this company. It needs a big refresher. It needs something new. It needs all of it. It needs Triple H. it needs this new McMahon family. And speaking of Triple H is now officially back with the NXT 2.0 brand. And so he is going to come in, fix shop, everything that has happened during his absence when he had like a chest surgery or something like that. Yeah. And so hopefully things get back to normal. We probably won't get back to normal because all the talent is gone and everything. But with Triple H coming back to NXT, how do you think NXT 2.0 will go forward in the future now?
I think that's nothing but a positive, man, for real.
Yeah.
Made NXT, like the 2.0 to me is misleading because it's not NXT 2.0. It's really like 3 or 4.0 because NXT really was like a game show.
Right.
So Triple H, it floundered for a while. Triple H saved it. He literally pulled it up and put it consistently. Their pay-per-view or whatever special event shows were consistently well above anything WWE was putting out. Consistently. They were more must-watch than anything else that was going on because of how Triple H built it. And yeah, it was built a lot around indie wrestlers, but I mean, it's really always been about indie wrestlers. Before it was indie wrestlers, it was the territories. Everybody from different territories just wrestling, and then WWE monopolized it. It's basically doing the same thing. So I feel like it's nothing but a positive. People down there can only learn good things from Triple H, and we've seen what he's done in the past. So I think he's going to repeat that. I hope that he's going to repeat that. We need him to help save and salvage what's going on right now.
Right. And we saw the whole method of what the whole Triple H and Shawn Michaels NXT version was going on. When they first came in, their whole thing was basically, developing those wrestlers who were starting from the ground up, who made it through the trials, and also bringing in those indie wrestlers that were on the scene or around the world or country and giving them trials to come into the business and combining those two factors into one. And that I feel like that method is actually a great method, because the thing about it with that is you have those two parties, and it actually makes it a lot more easier on the coaches that are there at NXT because you have those experienced wrestlers who are on the indie scene working, that can help those new potential wrestlers with no background whatsoever to help improve in like different ways and learn different maneuvers instead of just doing it the basic generic way of how everybody else does it. Because you can see right now on 2.0 with those who don't have the professional wrestling background, they all pretty much have the similar basic generic teaching on how to perform and produce moves. And it really shows in comparison to those wrestlers who already have been there or have somewhat of a background and that do have the indie background experience as well. You can see the difference. And with that, bringing in so much, there's no shot to all the new NIL talent or the people that made it through the physical trials. Like, congratulations, wish you the best and everything. But there's also more ways to learn something than just one way, because I just feel like that just hinders certain wrestlers because everybody can't wrestle the same way.
Right.
Everybody just can't wrestle generic, and you expect them to cultivate and finesse their move set over time when they don't have anything to, rely off of or help teach them that, because everybody in there just knows the same wrestling maneuver and same style. And so with that, like I said, when Triple H gets back in with this whole NXT business, like, I hope finds a way to, get that old NXT feel back within the Performance Center, because it's needed for the future. Because you don't want everybody to look and wrestle the same way. You don't want every superstar that you have to be somebody that's over 6'3" and weighs 250 pounds, and they're just dominant because they got muscles and they can perform a power bomb.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you want something different. You want some finesse in there. You need something to get the crowd. You need somebody with charisma. You need somebody to do some flips. Somebody to do springboards. All that good stuff. Just different ways to develop contact with somebody. Different type of kicks, punches, etc., knees, elbows, all that stuff. You don't want to see the same thing. So Triple H is a great pioneer and revolutionist with this whole wrestling business industry. He has a great eye and a great vision, obviously, because from what he saw, what he produced with NXT before it got dismantled to 2.0. So I just hope he just brings everything that he did and knows and puts it right back to where it's supposed to be. Grant, I'm still pissed that Undisputed Era is not there, but that's here for another day. Because that was the best theme song I ever heard in my life.
I think, but it was
theme song. Undisputed Era theme song was the coldest. I promise you. I can't get over that. I'm not gonna lie. Cody Rhodes theme song now, it's kind of dope. I listen to it off and on now. As I found out. Man, why you got a still face? Oh, I thought you were about to say something. I'm sorry, I was prepared. I had my guard up. I apologize. I thought that was the trigger. I'm like,
oh, you good. You good, brother.
All right. Yeah, so moving on, keeping up with the whole WWE news that we have been talking about. Another strong rumor that has been going around lately is the rumor that Sasha Banks has been released from her contract. It's been a whole bunch of sources that have been going around on social media that we've seen with the quote unquote release. Not sure if it's true or not, but if this is true, and once it is made official, if it is true, what does that mean for WWE?
It's gonna hurt. Sasha is important. Wherever she decides to go, she's gonna make waves. She's gonna make noise. She's a very original female talent, and a lot of people think that she was one of the most valuable, superstars that WWE had. And if they fumble that they're going to be at a loss. And I agree that they are, because they really don't know how to build people, as well as they used to. She was one of the 4 horsewomen really the last really good ones that they built on their own that weren't really known outside of any other organization except for the all-female organizations. So it won't be a good look if they did let her go. If they did let her go, it feels like it was a knee-jerk reaction because of what happened with the announcement with Vince, and even then, that would be in bad taste. I feel like that she should stay in WWE if she can, but if she's gone, she'll be good wherever she goes.
Yeah, that if Sasha Banks is actually released, that is a major and massive blow.
Big.
To that women's division and to WWE company as a whole, because wherever she goes, it's going to be big numbers, because Sasha Banks was and is a top 3 talent currently on the WWE roster with on the female side, and definitely shoot top 5 or top 10 as a whole as a superstar. I'm just throwing out she's in that top ranking. I just don't know what number she is, because I ain't gonna break it down like who was such and such. But she's numbers at the end of the day. She gonna pump the numbers for that company. And now that she's gone, and wherever she goes to, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And like the thing about, I'm trying to figure out what she would. And the thing about, she's young too still. And so she just has a lot of that still going on. So wherever she decides to do it, go, that's just longevity for wherever she decides to do. Or whatever company she decides to go to, she does decide to sign with a company. And, at the end of the day, a superstar of her magnitude, if she does decide to continue to wrestle, more than likely, from a money standpoint, possibly, it'll be AEW. If you're being real, yeah, just off of the fact of what she is worth and who can afford her, and also the type of leniency of a schedule that she'll have, it'll be AEW.
Or she have time for more of them side projects.
Exactly.
She was a huge ambassador for WWE. She got all kind of contacts and connects. So yeah, a more lax schedule would just do her a world better.
Right. A more lax schedule with a decent contract, and also a lot of time to do stuff on the side, because she was already in the movie, so she can get a good movie deal.
Yep.
You see who her family is. So is she good? Is she good within that Black music media market for us? So that's just another thing as well. Whatever she decides to do in that, and she can wrestle. So it's just like, and shoot, Snoop Dogg and jump ship and he with AEW too. So it's like it's all lined up. So the moment you see Sasha Banks pop up on AEW TV, it's gonna hurt now. Cause that's probably like that'll probably be like that's damn near like the biggest signing that AEW could sign from the WWE in their signing history of WWE superstars. Yeah, and somebody that could actually just be a star too, because AEW they you say what?
I said she wouldn't have to be remade. They wouldn't have to do any extra work to try to get them over from the damage that WWE did to them. Yeah, she'd probably be their biggest signing from WWE.
Exactly, and also be the consistent star on the show too, because you see that AEW they'll sign those stars from WWE. They have their quick pop for their moment, just for like the moment of 2 weeks, then it just starts to funnel and dwindle down, because either they're not being utilized as much anymore, or just the hype is over. But with Sasha Banks, there's going to be a continualized hype right there that's not going to end. So if the rumor is true, best of luck, WWE. I hope it ain't true for y'all, because y'all gonna need her.
Yeah.
Especially with the lack of depth that's going on right now with the WWE, with all these injuries and breaks that people are going on. So yeah. Yeah. So with that, I'm talking about with WWE and AEW. Speaking of AEW, AEW superstar, when also a former WWE superstar, has unfortunately been caught with a DUI charge, and that is Jeff Hardy again. And think about it, we actually talked about this on an episode of ours. I think it was like when I say it was back in like February, December or February.
Couple months ago.
Yeah, we literally talked about this when he had the other when he remember he had exited the ring of W Live show and then he got released. And the co-hosts that were talking about, he really doesn't need to be signed until he gets the help that he needs and deserves. So whatever goes on within him internally, we're not the ones here to judge a person or anything that's going on in their life. We're not gonna, berate him or any matter of sort. But the thing about it, we can see that he needs help because this is a continuous act and it's just something that needs to stop or just needs to be worked on. And that's what we feared because we think AEW signed him too early, not knowing, the background prognosis or where it was going on within his head or mind and body. And so now he's been caught with another DUI charge. We've seen the videos. It's been posted on TMZ. It's been all over social media. And so, Harv, how you feel about this whole situation with Jeff Hardy being charged with DUI?
It's bad, really, man. It's frustrating because we did see it coming. He keeps having access. When you have access to money, and it doesn't even have to be like you're rich, because we know a lot of less fortunate people who also have addictions. But if you have access to it, you're going to use it to feed your addiction. And them continuously signing him back and forth without making sure that he is healthy is just irresponsible, just because of his star power. Should have made sure that he was healthy before signing him. So now you can sign him. You got to take the L. He got to sit down. And it's something that we see a lot, especially in the wrestling business. And we see the dark roads that it leads a lot of people down. A lot of people, they lose mobility in certain places, lose limbs, lose their life. And a lot of them just never recover from that downward spiral. It just continues into their older years. And, it's just an ugly thing to see. And we just really wish the best for him. We just want him to be healthy. That's what all the fans and anybody who watches and appreciates what he does should want. It's just for him to be healthy more than you want to see him perform. That's just where I'm at with it. I feel like it's really sad situation.
I completely agree with it. And it's just, I said, it's crazy and unfortunate that all this is just occurring for him. And just like the thing about we didn't want to see it coming, but we saw it coming. And like I said, granted, I don't know how it feels to have an addiction, or like I said, don't know how it works to stop it or prevent it, but his support system needs to be around him immediately so he doesn't make the same mistake again. And AEW has to be conscious about everything that it is going on with him, so they don't make another bad decision and bring him back on TV and he does this one more time. Because with that, I think all that happened, I think his chances with WWE are over now. I think we can all agree to that and say that AEW, they're a little bit more lenient because they're new. There's fairness. This is his first offense with them, so this is probably their last strike per se. And also, I'm pretty sure Matt Hardy had a say in everything with all that's going on. But like with this, like just hope and pray that he just finds like the way and the right way to go, just to help save him eternally, pretty much. So nothing bad happens, and he can just, if he decide to go out and continue to perform, just let him just do that safely and just on his own terms and just do it correctly, and just stay away from alcohol.
Yeah,
that's really all I can say about it. So it is what it is. But yeah, do you have anything else to touch on that?
Oh man, addiction does run in my family when it comes to alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
So, I run into it sometimes and I have to recognize it, slow up. It's just everybody around you. He was driving again. Anything could have happened.
Right.
We just healthy, man. That's the ultimate message. That is to make sure you're healthy when you're doing pretty much anything. Don't endanger yourself. Don't endanger other people.
Right.
Performing like that, you know what I'm saying? That could be catastrophic. You never know what he's high octane, high risk offense.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can happen. So yeah. Be healthy with it.
Be healthy and be safe. And that is all the time that we have today. Hold on. Time out. Before we sign off real quick, I just want to give a big shout out to Mike Outlaw, Camaro Jackson, Eli, Kenny Alfonso, Moses, Suede, Dan the Dad, and those are the ones that I know personally, because it may be other wrestlers that were there, but I don't know them personally, so I apologize if I missed your name. But all these individuals that I did name were on AEW Dynamite in St. Louis, live on TV. They all participated in the 20-on-1 match against Wardlow. Granted, they didn't win, but they were on TV and they got to display their image and their in-ring work against them. And that was just a really big moment for them. I'm proud of all them guys. Like I said, keep it up. Like I said, this is the only time y'all gonna see me be friendly for y'all, because once that glory show happened, business is about to drop. You know, it's all about Mike Outlaw at the end of the day. I'm sorry, that's where it is. But like I said, I support y'all. I'm glad, proud of y'all and everything. Also, a big shout out to Tootie Lynn for a tag team match that she had. Shout out to Warhorse. He had his match against Tony Nese, and those were both on AEW Dark. You know, so like I said, congratulations, shout out to both of y'all too as well. But when Glory Pro happens, it's about business. And like I said, it's the end of the day, you know, it's all about the Glory Pro champion. I'm sorry, it's business, it's all about the money. But anyway, before we sign off, y'all gotta do this one simple favor for us, and that is to follow us on all social media platforms: KTR_podcast, Twitter, Instagram, No Rose Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, No Rose Podcast, all podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, everything. And don't forget to get your merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/KTR podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Please subscribe. Thank y'all for subscribing if y'all have. And just keep doing what y'all do to support the brand and the business. This is episode 52, live and direct. Cinko, Big Harv, and we are out. Wait, hold on. This is going to be weird because you can't say that. Okay, I'll be J-Bo for a sec because this will be his line. And what should they do, Big Harv?
You threw me off with that one. In the spirit of the boy J-Bo, pump them numbers, baby.
There you go.
Hey, that was hilarious.
That don't compute in my mind, I must be out of mind. Black fist high, rally up before we out of time.